Okay. Looks like we should be live. Let me just see if everything. Yep. All right. All right. So we are officially live. Welcome to another episode of the Turn 4 podcast. I'm your host, Daniel, and I am here joined with Mauricio. Anthony, unfortunately, could not make it in today. So how's everything going, Mauricio?
Oh, pretty fine. Well, just a little bit of problems, typical problems of real life. But after all, well, I'm surviving my first week of class. I want to die, but school is not easy. But here we are surviving, and I
Yeah.
hope to. I just want vacations again, to be honest.
Yeah, I know that. I
Uh,
know that feeling though.
yeah, man. But yeah, but pretty. At least we have NASCAR as a therapy. But here we are, man. Just
Yeah, here we are.
pretty excited about it.
All right. So Daytona went down. I gotta say, definitely a wild one. It's definitely a lot of, almost a lot of everything that we expected. We saw a lot of aggressive racing. It was going to be very interesting with the way this package being changed, with the horsepower being reduced from 7 to 10 miles per hour slower. Honestly, in my opinion, I thought we were going to see another like a 2013 Daytona 500 or a 2018 Fall Talladega. But honestly, I was wrong. I'm going to be honest. I was wrong from what I saw. The racing overall was great. We saw a lot of moves for the lead, a lot of blocking. I feel stage 1 and 2, most of these drivers were very conservative, but right until stage 3, that's where you started seeing wrecks. You saw where Chase Elliott pulled the block to Matt Benedetto and caused a wreck. And then the one on the last lap, where Suarez went to make a move and contact was made between Kurt Busch, Daniel Suarez, and Harvick, and the field was collected. And then Ryan Blaney, I mean, what a better time to have momentum. I mean, especially as we're heading to the playoffs, and now with him having 3 wins this season, his first season where he has more than one win. And I gotta say, Ryan Blaney at the moment, he's got to be the hottest driver right now, currently, that has a lot of momentum heading into the playoffs. But Mauricio, what were your thoughts on Daytona overall this weekend?
Oh man, to be honest, it was kind of wild. Like the Xfinity race, Friday we just got like 20 laps, rain come out. Then next day we had to start all over again. The three wide finish of quali racing just was amazing, man. Another close finish at Daytona in the Xfinity Series. I was just expecting that it's gonna be a only single file during the whole race, but they just started to move like not on the last lap. They were starting to move with 3-4 to go, and that was when the race started to get better. And how about Justin Haley? Like, I just there's no doubt that Justin Haley is a good super speedway racer, and there's no doubt that he's one of the luckiest super speedway racers right
Oh
there.
my
Because
God. Just seems to
Jesus,
be in the
how
right place at the right time.
yeah, he's at the right place at the right time. He has won, like for real, 4 of the last 6 super speedway races, and I'm not joking. Like last year, Noah Gragson started the season winning, and then the next 3 super speedways has been won by just I know, no, I'm thinking no, I'm right. Yeah, Justin Haley won both Talladega races and won the second Daytona race in 2020. Like he won 3 of the 4 super speedways in the Xfinity Series last year. This year, however, started with Austin Cindric, then Jeff Burton after the surprising rain that came out of nowhere. And now this one that he appeared on the right time with an amazing three-way finish. And once again, Colleague Racing proving that it's currently the best super speedway team in the Xfinity Series, just being one of the most dominant teams of the current era of the Xfinity Series. It's
Yeah, I
just
do.
so amazing how these guys work together or they just find a way to find each other. It's just so insane. And then the Cup Series. Like I was scared in some point that this package was gonna ruin the racing. At least I see it on the start of the race, like they were starting to pull away from the pack and was like starting to get worried, like, whoa, this is gonna be like the 2018 Talladega race, like only 4 cars battling for the lead single file. And then the best racing has happened just in one pack, and the lead pack was just starting to pull away. But no, after all, the racing has been very well. Thankfully, we just didn't have that. I think with the speed that they were getting, like actually they were making very good racing, like for real. Like pretty good passing. There was points that single file, but not always are gonna be racing like that. But yeah, just pretty good racing for real. And I'm pretty like the only thing like this race was gonna be a very good week, but the last lap wreck just ruined everything for me. Like the last lap wreck.
Yeah. Man, it would have been a good opportunity for Chris Buescher, but unfortunately, he ended up getting disqualified for an issue for the assembly track bar, which unfortunately disqualified him for the finish, for the second place finish. But very unfortunate. I mean, from what I saw, from what I saw, Chris Buescher, it kind of seemed like he was destined to make some aggressive moves to clinch himself a spot to steal a win and clinch himself into the playoffs. But man, Tyler Reddick, I mean, he ends up having a overheating issue. I believe overheating issues. I think he had. I don't know. I'm not too sure, but ends up getting in a wreck and comes home in a 7th place finish. Well, now 6th place after Chris Buescher's disqualification. But
yeah,
man, these RCR teammates, man, stage points was a huge thing. Them avoiding the wrecks, but of course, unfortunately, Austin Dillon and that on that wreck that happened before the overtime restart happened before we got to overtime.
Yeah,
Austin Dillon being stuck in the apron. I knew that his playoff hopes were over, but I mean, Tyler Reddick's in. He's seating pretty much now 15th, but I'm currently gonna screen share you guys the playoff grid.
Yeah, but how about Bubba Wallace? Like 2nd place finish, like 23-11 just got probably as for now. No, not probably. They got the best result of the season right now.
Oh yeah.
Another runner-up finish at Daytona for Bubba Wallace, just insane. Right behind his best friend, actually, Ryan Blaney, right now.
Man, I mean, I will say, for Bubba Wallace, he has we've seen how he is on the super speedways. He at times look at Daytona Speed Weeks of last season. He had speed during Speed Weeks, but he just didn't execute. But I gotta say, that I do find it funny that before the season started, that they were hyping him up, that he was expected to win. That he says he was going to win 5 races, but that didn't end up happening, unfortunately. And yeah,
once again, Trackhouse was just, they were also collecting the wreck. They were about to win. Like, to be honest, I was gonna say Daniel Suarez was gonna win this race. Mm-hmm. No doubt. I was gonna say that, like, Daniel Suarez was gonna win this race. It was gonna be an historical moment, not for the team, not only for the team, but for Daniel Suarez and for Mexico too. Mm-hmm. You imagine how many lines on the newspaper, on the internet here in the national country, like in Mexican news, it was gonna be the name all over the place. Like, for real, it was gonna be an epic moment to see that this guy from Mexico wins NASCAR race at Daytona to battle for the championship with a new team. Like, for real.
Yeah, that would have been.
I just really wanted that win so bad. So it would be huge. Like, as I said with Formula One with Sergio Perez, that win is gonna be on the portal news everywhere. But it didn't happen, so I feel very sad about it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So this is a current playoff grid as we are now heading into round of 16. So with Kyle Larson now with him clinching the regular season championship, he starts out the playoffs as the number 1 seed. He with being the regular season champion, I believe he gets 15. Yeah, no, I think he gets 52 extra bonus points.
15 playoff points. Yeah.
15. Yeah, 15 playoff points, and then pretty much now starts out with 2,052 points. Considering all bonus points he gets for the wins he has this season, the amount of stage wins. So I mean, Kyle Larson right now he's off to he's off a strong start. I mean, to start out the playoffs. I mean, but in the same time, all these playoff points could help him. Could be could be a free pass to Phoenix, but you still gotta perform in these next 3 races. I mean, if you're really gonna make it.
And I would say that this round, this is Kyle Busch's moment, like for real. Darlington has been pretty good after a tire cut in the first race, but he was probably the best car until that crash happened, and he finished, I think, 3rd place that race. Yeah. Then we go to Richmond and Bristol, 2 tracks that Kyle Busch definitely knows how to race, and I'm gonna tell you, he's gonna win at least one of these 3 races, no doubt. Mm-hmm. And I would say his best chance is gonna be Bristol. His playground. It's gonna be his playground. Like, that's Kyle Busch's playground right there.
All right, so currently, since we're looking at the playoff grid, so we're gonna go through each driver, and so right now, what we're gonna do, so both of us, as a Turn 4 podcast, we're both gonna make our playoff bracket predictions. So I'm actually gonna start out with mine. So, all right, so here's my playoff predictions. So we're gonna make our predictions, and we're gonna go back to this video and see how many we probably during the podcast, during like the final episode of season 2, we're gonna go back to see how we all did in our playoff predictions. All right, okay. So for me, Kyle Larson, easy pass. I think Larson makes it through, but hold on one sec. All right, so meanwhile, give us your thoughts on heading into the what to expect into the playoffs while I log into the playoff thing.
Well,
so right now, looking at the drivers currently in the playoffs, who do you see? Which driver do you see that definitely is heading into the playoff in a hot streak, and who is someone that you are concerned for heading into the playoffs?
Concerning what sense? That he's gonna have a bad time?
Like, someone that you feel like, you're not too sure. I mean, or like you're not too sure how he'll perform. It's like someone like a usual, like who you expect to be a championship contender, but you're not too sure. He enters the playoffs in unfamiliar territory.
I'm gonna say that Kevin Harvick and Kyle Larson, and I'm gonna explain you why. Harvick is gonna start last, like dead last in the playoff grid, and how Stewart hasn't been performing, I can see him out of the round of 16 if he doesn't perform.
Mm-hmm.
Unless some of the other contenders have an even worse day than him. But if the rest of the drivers have very good luck, I can see Kevin Harvick just getting eliminated right away.
Yeah,
that's all I can say about that. And Kyle Larson, we know what happened in the past. We saw it in 2018 with the Big Three. Who ended up as a champion? None of them. So we've seen before that there's going to be always a driver that's going to perform at the right time. And Kyle Larson and the drivers that are front, I can definitely see if Kyle Larson struggles, it will be insane. Like it will not be surprised, because I've seen that the best drivers, some way, they struggle with this format. Like they don't perform at the right moment. That's when I can say. Okay. Like they don't perform at the right time, and I would think that maybe Larson can be the exception. I hope. Like I don't want him to suffer, but if it happens, like it's no surprise about this playoff system. Like for real, it's not a surprise.
Yeah, I know. And I know there's one person that definitely wants to see Larson suffer in the playoffs, and you'll probably know who I'm talking about on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. Like for real, I would say that those haters that they call Kyle Larson, like I would say he's not like the GOAT already. He needs to continue proving, like he has to make a lot of objectives to be called the GOAT. But he's definitely proving that he's probably one of the best drivers in the current era. Obviously, right behind KFB, because KFB, as much as these 2 years hasn't been like the Kyle Busch we used to, he's still the best driver in the era. Definitely, he's still the number one of the era right now, like the current era, not the all time.
Yeah,
right now, definitely he is the best.
You want to talk about you want to talk about momentum in the right time? Look at Ryan Blaney. I mean, in the last 9 races, not last 9 races. Here's his finishes: both Pocono races, 5th, 6th. Road America, 20th. Loughton, 5th. Forgot Atlanta. Atlanta, 5th. Loughton, 5th. Watkins Glen, 14th. Indianapolis Road Course, 2nd. Michigan, Daytona wins. Average finish of 6.55. So right now he enters the NASCAR playoffs with back-to-back wins and the best average finish of any driver at the last 9 races. And you've seen what peaking at the right time can really do. I mean, look at Joey Logano. I mean, he was not during the regular season. We didn't really see too much flashes of him, but during the playoffs, he had the best average finish of any driver. And, peaking at the right time. We saw that with Chase Elliott last year, started peaking during the playoffs.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney is someone that you do not want to count out. So, all right. So I was able to set this up for the playoffs. So I'm going to give out my playoff predictions. So Kyle Larson, I see him advancing. There's the no-brainer. Ryan Blaney, same thing. I see him advancing. I feel like now he's starting off the playoffs in the second seed. Last season, with that penalty that he got before Darlington, it really did mess him up. We didn't really get to see much of Ryan Blaney during the playoffs. Martin Truex Jr., I see him advancing. Kyle Busch, I see him advancing. Chase Elliott, I see him advancing. Alex Bowman, I see him advancing. Denny Hamlin, I think will advance. William Byron, I think will advance. Joey Logano, I see him advancing. Brad Keselowski, I hate to say this, but who I see advancing, Kurt Busch, I think will advance. Christopher Bell will advance. And I think Brad Keselowski will advance. My 4 I have eliminated are Michael McDowell, Eric Almirola, Tyler Reddick, and Kevin Harvick. Harvick just has not shown the speed this season. And him starting in the last seed of the playoffs is not going to do him any good. Tyler Reddick, I mean, honestly, he has been consistent, but I just feel like he's probably going to have a bad race, either Darlington or Richmond. Somewhere around there, he's going to have a bad race. And Almirola, same thing I could say about Harvick, has not shown the speed. Yeah, he won Loughton, but he has not really shown the speed to be in the level. And then Michael McDowell, I just don't think Michael McDowell really has a potential to run with
the big boys,
Yeah, to run with the big boys.
Maybe get a good result, but just like that, like he's not gonna make it too far.
Yeah, I totally agree. So all right, so right now I can't submit it for the round of 8, but round of 8, I have Kyle Larson, I have Ryan Blaney, I have Martin Truex
You can
Jr.
put the only 4 that are. Let's do this. From that list, eliminate the 4 that you're gonna think they're eliminated.
Yeah, that'll be much easier. All right, so eliminated in the round of 12, I have Brad Keselowski, I have Christopher Bell, I have Alex Bowman, and then I have Kurt Busch. So round of 8,
eliminate those 4. Eliminate those 4 from that list.
All right, so yeah. Let's see. So I have Alex Bowman, I have Christopher Bell, Brad Keselowski, and Kurt Busch. So my round of 8, I have Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, and Joey Logano.
Yeah, the reason why we are just putting it like that is because we just can't move forward.
Yeah, they're
we're
not
just making it from the round of 12 because that's like the best we can do right now. Because obviously we have to wait until after Bristol, that's the cutoff line to make it.
Yeah,
to making our picks.
All right, and so then round of 8, eliminated in the round of 8, I have Martin Truex Jr., William Byron, Joey Logano, and I have Denny Hamlin eliminated. So my final 4 for Phoenix, I have Kyle Larson. I think Ryan Blaney will make it to the final 4. I have Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott. So those are my final four. But for Phoenix, I think Kyle Larson is going to be your 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion. So that's what I think will happen. So now Mauricio, he's going to give us his playoff predictions. So
okay, let me find the shit is how we put it on NASCAR.
Yeah, go.
Because I'm recording on my camera, I'm gonna have to put it on my phone. So excuse me for that. I don't have my computer on my.
Yeah. Well, right now, I have it on share screen, so you can just tell me which drivers are.
Okay.
Or tell me the drivers tell me the round of 12 of who's advancing, starting from top to bottom. So.
Okay, so definitely the last four of this list, they're gonna be eliminated. So I'm definitely as they are right now.
Or who do you see eliminated? We'll start out. Who do you see eliminated from round 16?
For the round 12, no doubt, Dowell, the two Stewart Haas drivers, Almirola and Harvick, and Tyler Reddick.
All right.
And you know what? Let me change it. I'm going to be honest. I would say Christopher Bell.
Christopher Bell gets eliminated.
Like Christopher Bell, McDowell, Almirola, and I would say Harvick.
All right. So.
Because as far as I can see, like the reason why I put Christopher Bell, and it hurts me, it's because I see the 20 like the typical 4 car, and I don't see that car going too far unless he wins at Bristol, because Christopher Bell is good at Bristol too. Not as good as KFB, obviously, but like that's like the possibly only chance that maybe can Christopher Bell get it. Like it's gonna be tough. Like the round of 12. As much as you can say, if Harvick wins, that's gonna be crazy, like for real.
All right, so this is our Mauricio's round of 12. All right, so who do you have eliminated from the round of 12?
Okay, from the round of 12, I think it's gonna be obviously Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman. I would say Brad Keselowski. The last one. That's a difficult. I would say Kurt Busch.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Mauricio's round of 8 is Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, and Joey Logano. All right. So who gets eliminated in the round of 8?
Okay. On the round of 8, it's going to be Byron. It's going to be Logano. It's going to be Marty Truex Jr. And it's going to be Ryan Blaney.
All right. So Mauricio's final four is Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, and Denny Hamlin. So Mauricio, who will be the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion?
Wait, give me a second. Let's do something a little bit more controversial. Put Blaney instead of Chase Elliott.
Okay, so you want me to put Blaney instead of Chase Elliott?
It's Blaney's second, like just above Larson. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's my final four. And obviously, the champion is going to be Kyle Busch.
All right, so you say Kyle Busch will get his third NASCAR Cup Series championship.
Bro, we are the only one that we won with this chase format twice. Like, we are the only one that have won this format twice. And we're going to make more history, continue to win championship with this format because we are good at this format. That's how I'm going to tell. Kyle Busch is by far the best using this format.
Yeah.
And I would say we're going to get that third championship. And we're just going to get more fans and haters after this one. You'll see.
Yeah. So honestly, I got to say, heading into these playoff races, I mean, I will not be surprised if you see someone surprising get eliminated second round or even first round. I mean, we've seen it before in recent years, but who do you see pulling off a surprise and getting eliminated really early? Someone you expected to make it far. Who do you see more likely to get eliminated early?
In the sense of the top drivers, or like a driver that you see that boom, he's getting down quickly?
I say like top drivers. Who do you see possibly could end up completely choking?
To be honest, I can see maybe Chase Elliott. I can see Ryan Blaney too. I can see as well maybe Martin Truex Jr. and maybe Kyle Larson, because the best driver usually struggles very much to get into the final four.
Mhm. I mean, I think for me, I say Martin Truex Jr. I mean,
Yeah.
we're heading into tracks that are 750 horsepower. Like you see, I think six of them will be under the 750 horsepower package, and Truex has been strong, but throughout the summer, ever since Darlington, he has not really been showing that consistency that we have seen from Truex in past years. And honestly, I could possibly see him around a 12 exit, but I see Truex possibly. I don't know. I just don't. I just feel like, some of the bad runs that he's had throughout the summer, or even some races where he hasn't really been out front, I could see that him carrying that on into the playoffs. And I think another one who I can definitely see possibly Chase Elliott. I mean, we got the Charlotte Road Course, but look at 2019. Look at the round there. I mean, look at 2019 for Chase Elliott. I mean, the round of very was abysmal for Chase Elliott. I mean, Martinsville had a broken axle. Texas cut a tire down and hit the wall. Phoenix got in a wreck. I mean, there could be a driver like a Larson or a Ryan Blaney, or look at Kyle Larson in 2017. Everyone thought he was definitely going to make it into the Final Four, and had that blown engine at Kansas, they got him eliminated. So you could be safely locked in, but if you have one bad race, it can definitely knock you out. But don't be surprised if you see somebody who is below, not below the cutoff line, but someone who you see as a possible favorite to make it to Phoenix, have some misfortune happen to that driver, and that could eventually end up costing them to advance. But that's what I honestly think.
Yeah, I can agree with some of them.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the player's gonna be a lot of surprises and a lot of disappointment. So, like, to be honest, I can see like how the past has been good has been with the format. I can see it happening this year, but maybe some drivers will say like it's not gonna be the same. I don't know. We just have to see it during the first round, and then we'll see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But something I'm gonna be excited once I get to Darlington. I want to see those yellow things on the cars on Darlington.
We are gonna see those for sure, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them in the track. And I know for a fact I will be at Phoenix. I'm definitely excited to be there in person. So it's only 10 weeks left, which I will be in Phoenix.
Yeah, it's actually 10 weeks left. Like we are very close to finish this season. Like actually 2 months.
Yeah, it felt like just yesterday that we were barely talking about speed weeks and the start of a new season. But honestly, I gotta say, overall, this regular season, we saw a lot of parity. There's been times at seasons where we would see 2 to 3 of the same drivers winning on a weekly basis. But this season, we saw, different types of winners, even unexpected winners. I mean, you look at Michael McDowell winning at Daytona, Eric Almirola winning at Loughton, or at times we've seen look at Kurt Busch winning at Atlanta. I mean, honestly, this season has been one of those unpredictable type of years, and honestly, who knows? We could see some unpredictability during the playoffs.
No doubt.
No doubt. So,
and also don't count out the drivers that they are not in the playoffs. Like we still have first-time winners to mention. Just don't comment out those drivers, because as much as these drivers they are gonna be fighting for a championship, there's some drivers that they are fighting to get at least a win this season. Especially like teams like Trackhouse Racing or guys like Mauricio Childress. So we still don't have to. We still don't have to underestimate those drivers, because there's still a lot of drivers that they still have a lot to play. There's still a lot to play on, especially like guys like Matty Tenedero, who doesn't have a ride next year. So
yeah, I mean, even look at a Ryan Newman. I mean,
Ryan Newman,
you look
yeah,
at Talladega. Talladega could be possibly one of his last best shot to get a win. I mean, he's trying to find a ride for next season, but we don't know where he could end up. But at this point, I mean, this could be some of the last glimpse we have of Newman, being in a full-time Cup Series car. I mean, we don't know what his future is, but honestly, for Ryan Newman, I mean, since he's not in the playoffs, I mean, he definitely has Talladega circled in that box as for him to possibly get one more final win. He hasn't announced anything. He hasn't announced any plans, but this could be the possibility. This could be the last year we could see Newman running full time in the NASCAR Cup Series.
Yeah, that's like the last time, like for real. Like, there's no doubt that he's gonna be a guy that maybe is gonna be the last time we're gonna see. This is gonna be maybe the last races that we're gonna see him driving a race car. So
yeah, I mean,
like.
So, I mean, like I said, we don't know what the future holds for Newman. I
Yeah.
mean, he was offered a part-time role at Roush, but I'm not sure if Newman really wants to be a part-time driver. I mean, Newman has mentioned several times that he still wants to win a Cup Series championship. But honestly, I mean, Ryan Newman, I mean, he's past his prime. I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest, when was the last time we've seen Newman really that competitive? I mean, since his Penske days. I mean, he was great at Stewart-Haas Racing. I mean, he was consistent at times. He won a couple races there. But honestly, Newman, I honestly feel like he's already way past his prime. I don't think, I don't think the Newman from 2003 is already behind us, honestly. I mean, I can appreciate that Ryan Newman still wants to continue racing, but if he wants to continue racing, I mean, he's going to have to go with what's ever available. And if it's going to be a part-time deal at Roush, where he probably runs super speedways, possibly. I mean, I could probably see him take the Bill Elliott, the Terry Labonte routes where they race until like way past their 50s, or even a Mark Martin route. I mean, honestly, Ryan Newman looks like he still wants to continue racing. But honestly, I mean, it's hard to,
like if he wants to continue racing, it's okay, but I don't think he can continue racing on a championship level, right?
No, I don't think he could. I mean, honestly, 2003 was honestly his best only shot to win a Cup Series championship, to be honest.
Yeah, 2014, that's like the last one that you can say like this was like your best chance.
Hey, he was about exposed to the system though. I mean,
being
being a winless champion.
Yeah. Like it has happened before, I think. I don't know.
I mean, there has been winless champions, but there's been champions who won one race, but that was during like when we had the Winston format, but during a playoff format, it's never happened. I mean, the fact that NASCAR, I mean, with this format, they want to make it all about winning. But Matt Crafton was the one that exposed the system, being a winless champion, or how we call it, the Mickey champion.
The Mickey champion, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
But hey, he has proven that he's a championship caliber. Like he's not the first. That's the first championship. Like he's won fair square 2 championships before. So I don't think that maybe exposed the system, but he's not like a champion that doesn't deserve it. Like he's been a 2-time champion before.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Matt Crafton, I mean, he's pretty much made his mark in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and he's right above those guys, like names like Todd Bodine, Ron Hornaday, amongst like the all-time greats in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right, since so now that we've gone over the playoff talk, but let's talk about some silly season. So the Friday of last weekend, it was announced that Kurt Busch will be driving the second car for 23XI Racing. Not only that, but he'll be piloting the number 45 Monster Energy Toyota Camry in the NASCAR Cup Series for 2022. And also, by the way, with this announcement, they also confirmed
then the numbers placement is gonna be changing for next year. So yeah,
Yeah.
people, for be honest, start fucking complaining about that. Like for real, I'm tired of that shit. Like for real, like bro, there's been a lot of things that we have to worry about, and you're worried about the number that's been moving. Like for real,
I mean,
man.
I've been guilty of that. I'll admit I've been guilty of that. Honestly, it's just you know,
Like
for so
I
long. I
know.
mean, throughout its 70-year history of the sport, we've seen numbers have been, numbers have been traditionally placed on the driver door. And for me, I mean, I understand its purpose to get more attention from corporate America and for it to expose more sponsorships. But what I've been saying for a long time is that for many fans like myself and Mauricio who have been fan of the sport for more than a decade, we familiarize ourselves with numbers. I mean,
Yeah.
even in the sport, with numbers, and we have some of the most iconic numbers in the sport. We have from like the 43, the 3, the 24, the 21, the 48. We familiarize ourselves like with the 43, we think about Richard Petty. The 3, we think about Dale Earnhardt. The 24, we think about Jeff Gordon. 48, we think about Jimmy Johnson. Numbers like that. That's how we familiarize ourselves. Like for example, um, if I were to ask you, about Kyle Busch, what's the first thing you're gonna think of? The number, or you're gonna think about the sponsor?
Actually get sponsored, to be honest. Like for real, like obviously the legendary 18, but when we think about another good 18 drivers, Dale Jarrett, Bobby Labonte, like the 18 is not only been driven by very good ghosts like Kyle Busch, like Bobby Labonte, Dale Jarrett. But if we want to say who remembers Kyle Busch, is especially M&M's. Like Kyle Busch has a lot of popularity because he's a candy man, and he's why he gets that name. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
a guy that has beautiful colors, like beautiful base skips of candies.
Okay,
So
if
I
I
would
were to
say
ask
that
you,
a guy
if I
like
were to
Kyle
ask you
Busch,
about Jeff Gordon, what is the first thing you're gonna think of? The number or the sponsor?
man, like I'd be honest, I've seen a lot of people that they think about the paint skips, not the number. Like, yeah, Jeff Gordon drove the 24 for almost 20 years, but yeah, what's people remember? The paint scheme, like the DuPont Flame one. So I don't see why to complain about the number placement when we can have beautiful paint schemes, and that's how a lot of people recognize those drivers. Like, oh, I remember. Do you remember that legendary DuPont Flame paint scheme of Jeff
Rainbow
Gordon? Like,
Warriors.
yeah, the Rainbow Warriors. Like, and you haven't seen like, oh, do you remember how when Kyle Busch drove the 5 car? Yes, I've seen that they talk of those topics, but they remember like the Kellogg's car or those kind of paint schemes. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the number placement is gonna affect. I just
Mm-hmm.
hope that they just really use the whole car. Like, I don't want that bullshit that Kurt Busch made with the announcement, like the plain Monster Energy car. They just have to be creative. They had to do better with that shit. Like,
I mean,
they have to use the whole space, like for real, just the whole freaking space if they're gonna change the number like that.
mhm. Yeah, I mean,
Because it's not worth it if you're gonna be like the only good thing I can see, like the only thing that is gonna be not changing is the size. Like they are not gonna make it smaller. They are not gonna change the size of the number.
mhm.
They're just gonna move it a little bit forward to the left.
In
So the
my,
number is gonna be still big. It's gonna be still huge as well
mhm.
as on the roof. Just the only thing is gonna happen is just that the number is gonna be a little bit forward.
I'll
And we're
make,
gonna and we're gonna get used to like that shit of the number placement, and we're gonna get used to. By 1 year we're gonna get back to those. We're just It's gonna be like a topic close, like for real.
look, for me as a fan. I mean, from my perspective, numbers are a huge important part of me. I mean, you look at that 43 font, the 24 font. You look at or the 48 font, the 3 font. You think back to all those iconic moments in the sport. You think about the legends that hopped into that car. I mean, I I'll applaud NASCAR for not shrinking the number. Honestly, I would have had a huge problem if they had shrunken the number. So I applaud NASCAR for not shrinking the number. Honestly, I prefer the number being moved forward than being moved back. Honestly, the All-Star race from last year, seeing that number placement was, but I prefer the number being moved. If they're gonna move the number, move it forward. I was not a fan of it when they moved it back, but I applaud NASCAR for not moving it back and for not shrinking the number. So at least they kept it the same size, but NASCAR did. I mean, they kind of did. I mean, Eric Jones, I think for Bristol in 2017, when he was driving the 77, he did have the number being moved a bit more forward to the right side of the car. So it wasn't terrible, but I think like I said, it might not officially look like that. They might make a few adjustments to it.
Yeah, it's like if people are complaining that we haven't seen the paint schemes yet. We haven't seen the real paint schemes with the Gen 6 bodies. We just have seen the manufactured bodies, but we haven't seen paint schemes. Like, yeah, we got an idea of how they look in the simulator, but we haven't seen the cars in real life. We don't. I'm definitely gonna be sure that we're gonna see different paint schemes, a lot of different paint schemes next year, because we're starting a new era. We're starting a new generation. So there's gonna be, obviously they're gonna start with new. I hope that, for example, Kyle Busch has a new M&M's paint scheme, because I'm tired of the same paint scheme every year. Like they have to make
I will add on
something
to this though, and here's the thing: I say this about paint schemes. I mean, yeah, you might see the same scheme like with Logano. I mean, we've seen the same scheme for already more than 10 years, for like 10 years already. I mean, the Shell Penzo car has been around for 10 years. Kyle Busch, he's had the same regular M&M scheme since 2008, but honestly, from my perspective, we gotta enjoy these schemes. I mean, I know Mauricio, I know you're tired of seeing those M&M scheme, the same regular M&M scheme, but you're gonna look
I
back.
like the M&M's, but I like a little bit change. Like, so try something like a little bit different, like something that is completely visual. That say, oh, they changed this.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know, just try to make something.
You're gonna, yeah, I understand your point of view, but
I would say that, yeah.
I'll say this though. For many of us fans, like myself, like with Joey Logano's scheme, I know a lot of people might say, oh, it's the same thing. But I look at those two schemes. We're going to look back like 30, 40 years from now. And when someone does a throwback to those schemes, we're going to look back and we're going to say, we're going to talk about how iconic that scheme is. Oh, that was a badass scheme. You know how old school fans talk about, the David Pearson 21 scheme, that throwbacks we've seen, or like a Jeff Gordon Rainbow Warriors, or like a Matt Kenseth DeWalt, or a Rusty Wallace Miller Lite, or like Dale Earnhardt GM Goodwrench. I mean, he drove literally the same black scheme for 20 years, and people talk about it, how iconic it is. And the way I see it, for me, I'm a fan of simplicity, but I don't mind change. But the way I see it is with Kyle Busch's M&M scheme, or with like Logano's Shell Pencil scheme, the same with those schemes, we're gonna look back and we're gonna be telling our children how iconic those schemes were, for sure.
You know what I'm expecting, baby? I would say I've been saying for a lot of years, I want to see at least Kyle Busch driving that Kellogg's car, but not obviously with the sponsor, but that beautiful like scheme that he used to drive.
I mean,
like I've been waiting for him to drive like his first years in NASCAR with Hendrick in a Toyota to see how it looks.
Yeah, I mean,
he has to do that. He has to do that sometime.
I'm not sure how he would do that in the 18 car, but I would like to see him throw it back to maybe some probably like some older schemes, like maybe like a Snickers scheme, like when he won his first Cup Series race. But I think if you were to do a scheme from his Hendrick days, I feel like most likely Kyle Larson might be doing that. I mean, because it's the 5 car and it's kind of been an iconic number at Hendrick Motorsports. But I mean, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see it. I mean, definitely him trying to do a throwback to his early Busch Series days.
Yeah.
But yeah. But anyway,
or maybe for example, like the double main card, like he swept at Bristol.
Yeah. That double main card though. Nah, but honestly, I want to see him throw it back to the Z-Line Designs car. I would.
Oh, the sea line. That's a pretty badass. I think he can do that, man. Like for real, he can do that.
Mhm.
Like I've been waiting for him.
I
He
mean, it's
can
like
do that.
'cause when I think back to his Xfinity Series success, I always look back at that scheme. The first thing I think of
Yeah,
about
sea
Kyle
line,
Busch
and
and
I would
Daytona.
say NOS Energy. Those are the most successful pace schemes when he was in Xfinity.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, as we were going with the announcements, yeah. So Kurt Busch announced that he was going to be driving the second car for 2311. And honestly, is something I did see coming. I mean, I know a lot of people rumored that he was going to go to the second car at Trackhouse Racing, but he is now officially going to go to the second car at 2311 Racing. You know, Kurt Busch, I mean, he's been in the sport for 20 for 20 for 20 years already, pretty much 2 decades. So think about it. That Kurt Busch has been, compared to our age that we're in, 21 years old, both of us. That is the amount that Kurt Busch has been in the NASCAR Cup Series for. And that is unbelievable. I mean, the guy, Kurt Busch, I mean, he's for sure a Hall of Famer. He's definitely a Hall of Famer when he steps away. He's pretty much accomplished pretty much everything in the sport. I mean, he's 33 Cup Series wins, a NASCAR Cup Series championship, a Daytona 500. You know, he still has a Southern 500 and a Brickyard 400 to win. But Kurt Busch, man, he's seen it all, man. He's been through the highest of highs, through the lowest of lows in the sport. And Kurt Busch, and before I get to your thoughts, Mauricio, but you know, one of the things about Kurt Busch, I mean, the fact that he's definitely a seasoned veteran in the sport, is that every team that Kurt Busch has been on, the team has gotten better. He seems to elevate that team to a whole nother level. And honestly, that's something I do expect from Kurt Busch at 2311. I do kind of, with his veteran and his experience in the sport, I do expect him trying to help improve 2311 and even try to help improve Bubba Wallace too. You know, Bubba Wallace is definitely a driver that definitely needs a teammate to lean on. And I think Kurt Busch is someone he can definitely lean on. And Mauricio, to ask you, what were your official thoughts when you heard the announcement?
Well, I've seen it coming, and it's maybe the best announcement. This was the announcement I've been waiting for. Like I've been saying for a lot of times, I really wanted to see the Busch brothers in the same manufacturer, and finally, next year we're gonna see that. Unfortunately, this year we haven't seen Ronaldo and Messi on the same team, but I would say that having the Busch brothers on the same manufacturer, I would say it's a signal of danger for real. Like, especially I can say on super speedways, like Kurt Busch helping Joe Gibbs racing drivers and his teammate Baba, they're gonna be very dangerous, like for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe Kurt Busch at some point maybe can help Baba Wallace to win, or maybe his brother, he can help him to win the 500. Imagine the Busch brothers finishing 1-2. That would be.
I want to say not quite. I mean, look at Bristol 2019. He says he'll do anything to wreck his brother to wreck Kyle to win.
Yeah,
I mean, that could happen, but who knows? I mean, possibly to push, win a Daytona 500, possibly. I mean, he did that with Ryan Newman back in Penske. You know, he helped him. He pushed him to help him win the 500. Could that happen with Kyle Busch? Possibly. I mean,
maybe just to get that win, and maybe Kurt Busch, Kyle can get the favor back, winning the next second Daytona race. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, heading into next season, I mean, if Newman decides to step away, just looking back, Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick are like the last two drivers, are one of the last two that have been around for more than 20 years in the sport. And it's honestly crazy to think about this, man, but they're like one of the last two left that from like NASCAR's golden age, from like the early 2000s, that are still left. And it comes to show how much the sport has changed since me and Mauricio have started watching the sport. I mean, you know, for me and Mauricio, you know, we grew up watching guys like Harvick, Kurt Busch, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Mark Martin, guys like them. I mean, it's crazy to think about, you know, where we are now with seeing all these younger drivers now. And I mean, for Kurt Busch, I feel like he's still a driver that I feel like he can still get it done. He's a driver who was very conservative. He's very consistent. he's definitely a driver that will definitely not tear down equipment. He's a driver that will definitely keep the car in one piece. And I think he's definitely a driver that, what really helps him elevate those teams is the fact that he's driven for several race teams. He's driven for different manufacturers. I mean, Kurt Busch, he's driven for Roush. He's driven for Penske. He's driven for Phoenix Racing, Furniture Row Racing, Stewart Haas Racing, Chip Ganassi Racing, now 2311 Racing. And then with manufacturers, he's driven for four different manufacturers. He's driven a Ford, he's driven a Chevy, he's driven a Dodge, and now he's going over to Toyota now. He's driven for four different manufacturers. And Kurt Busch is definitely a type of driver. I think for me, the way I see it is that any new team that's starting up, Kurt Busch is definitely the guy you got to have when you're building a new team. And he is definitely the guy that can definitely help elevate the team.
Yeah. Yeah, and the guy with experience, that's all that helps to a team. Like the acknowledging that they have those ones, it makes the teams get better because experience beats over talent, to be honest.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm actually gonna turn on one of the lights. I'll actually be right back. But meanwhile, you give us what your expectations are with Kurt Busch in 2022.
Okay, all right. So yeah, guys, tell me, what do you expect about Kurt Busch? For me, I would say that Kurt Busch definitely is gonna be a guy that will definitely see him maybe get that first win. Like maybe he's gonna win at least one race for that team. Like for real, like not as a joke. Like for real, it's just like the way that this thing goes is definitely we're gonna see these guys perform in the right way, and definitely Bubba Wallace having a teammate like Kurt Busch is definitely gonna be something that will definitely help him a lot. So yeah.
Also, to bring up a good point, Bubba Wallace, I think he can definitely Kurt Busch can definitely be the type of teammate that Bubba Wallace is going to need. Bubba Wallace, he's never really throughout his whole Cup Series career, during his time at Richard Petty Motorsports, he never had a teammate to lean on. And then 2311, his first season, they didn't have a teammate. And I feel like Bubba Wallace, I should see some improvement in performance in Bubba Wallace. The fact that, he has a veteran driver to lean on. And that's something that Bubba Wallace needs. I think he needs someone he can definitely lean on. I feel like Bubba Wallace right now at the moment, he's an unproven driver. He hasn't really done anything to really on his resume. Literally, his resume is fully blank. He's not won in the Cup Series. He has not sent the team to the playoffs, but a lot of it has to do with 2311. It was kind of a last minute deal. They didn't get their shop ready until literally January. Their cars were not fully prepared until like middle January. So pretty much for them was a kind of late entry into the NASCAR Cup Series. And for them, I feel like after one full season, they're able to fully start preparing for next season. And, with Bubba Wallace not making the playoff, their focus right now is in winning the championship. Obviously, you want to go for the trophies, but with the next gen car coming up, like me and Mauricio, we've said before, it's a start from scratch. It's the teams that can adapt the quickest are the ones that are most likely going to be the ones that are going to succeed in this in the next in the first year of the next gen. But Bubba Wallace, I honestly feel like he needs a veteran teammate to kind of mentor him, for him to kind of lean on for advice. And Kurt Busch is that type of driver that I think you definitely want to have, to build up a team.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
And yeah. All right, so that is the biggest news that came into the NASCAR world. So before we get to the pit stop round, we'd like to give a shout out to Lionel a huge shout out to Lionel Racing, the official diecast of NASCAR. Make sure you get your 164, 124 NASCAR scale diecast of your favorite race, of your favorite driver. check out LionelRacing.com and shop for 164, 124 diecast. Go to your local retail store and purchase any diecast of your favorite driver or favorite paint scheme. And make sure to check out Target. Make sure you check out any new wave of NASCAR Authentics at your local Target or Walmart. And for this Lionel shout out today, the diecast that I will be repping today, it is Greg Biffle's 2010 3M 164 scale diecast, and this came from one of the classics, one of the old brands that used to produce NASCAR diecast, which is Winter Circle. You guys, for any of you people who are watching who weren't NASCAR fans at that time, Winter Circle were kind of like the old version of NASCAR Authentics, the ones that came with the magnet. The ones that you see now today in your local, the NASCAR Authentics that you see today in your local Walmart and Target. So this is the diecast I'll be repping for today. Mauricio only has one single diecast. If you want to donate any NASCAR diecast, make sure you guys donate to Mauricio because he needs some diecast.
We need some diecast, man. It's just we're far away from the machine. We're far away from the fabric. So
yeah. Thank you, Lionel Racing, for producing these diecasts and for being the official diecast of NASCAR. We thank you for your support for this podcast. And now we're gonna get on to the pit stop round of the Turn 4 podcast. All right, so we actually have quite a few news to discuss for this weekend. All right, so starting out, Dylan Lupton will be running the 51 truck at Darlington this weekend for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Jack Wood returns to GMS Racing full-time in 2022 for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Dylan Lupton will be competing in the final 4 Truck Series races in 2021 for Ram Brothers Racing. Cram Racing Enterprises welcomes Green Concepts Incorporated and what's it called? And Braywater into the team. Young's Motorsports to promote Doge Cola at Darlington. Interesting. Tommy Joe Martins and Cesar Boss Baccarella to partner to form Alpha Prime Racing for 2022 Xfinity Series season. So new team heading into the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Yeah.
Brayer's Ice Cream will be sponsoring Justin Allgaier at Darlington. Fox Sports, Spartanburg, and R.E. Goodson sponsoring Jeremy Clements at Darlington. Vicone RV will be partnering with Jesse Little at Darlington and Bristol. And Noah Gregson, he will be returning to JR Motorsports in 2022. So, I mean, this is a possibility that Junior Motorsports might not be going full-time to the NASCAR Cup Series. Gregson was the first driver I thought that was going to go, but honestly, I'm glad he's staying for another year in Xfinity. I still feel like Gregson isn't quite ready yet. And I still feel like he needs to start showing more consistency, but I'm glad he's getting another year. Work Pro Tools will be sponsoring Josh Williams in 6 races and becomes the overall becomes the official tool proprietor of DGM Racing. Austin Dillon will be competing for Jordan Anderson Racing at Darlington. And Chris Buescher's second place finish at Daytona was disqualified, and it was Rule 20.333B for the rear sub brake assembly track bar, section 1.4. Kaz Gralla, he injured his foot in the Daytona crash, so right now he is currently on crutches for meanwhile. So definitely did not know that.
That impact was very tough, but he forgot where the brakes are too. So
yeah, for sure. 8 Cup Series teams will be testing the next gen cars at Daytona. So the following 8 drivers that will be testing the next gen cars at Daytona will be Austin Dillon, Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, Joey Logano, William Byron, Cole Custer, Ross Chastain, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And yeah, so those are the 8 that will be testing at Daytona. So we're finally about to see more than one car being tested for Daytona. And, this is a great way to see what package are they going to use for the super speedways. We hope they still continue using the current one. I do not want
I've seen, for example, I don't know if you saw that Kurt Busch's car. Looked to me that was going to be like the package that we're going to use for super speedways.
With the giant ass spoiler?
Yeah, the spoiler was big, and then there was like kind of something like below. I don't know if I'm gonna say like there's like the type of super speedway they have like this more lismo like kind of a metal that they put on
Oh,
like under the car on super speedways.
oh, you're talking about like the deck lid, like how the deck lid is like a lot more lower.
Yeah, the back, the rear, how it looks even more close
Oh,
to the
the rear
ground.
deck lid. Yeah.
Yeah, the rear deck lid. I think it has like a special deck lid,
Mm.
and I don't know, but yeah, it's
Yeah. Yeah, it's something to watch out for. But I think what I really look for to really test them out, I think they're really going to test out the safety. I mean, some people might say, I mean, because of that room, that
safety.
uh,
I would say safety. I would say bump drive. I would say everything like super speedways.
yeah, I mean, especially, I mean, they gotta really make sure they really use this time to really test those next gen cars really well. I mean, because I mean, we're I mean, at the time of the year we're in, we're almost in September. The season is gonna end in 2 months, and we're about. I mean, and right before you know it, we're gonna head to the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season, and we're already going to be racing the next gen cars. I mean, at this point, they have to start racing as a pack together at super speedways, short tracks, road courses, and intermediate tracks and 2 mile tracks. I mean, we can't screw this up. I mean, we cannot screw up with this next gen car. This is going to determine where the sport is going to be headed into the next decade, and they got to get it right. They got to get it right. This is very important for NASCAR to get it right. I mean, and this should be the car that fixes all these aerodynamic issues with the off throttle time and dirty air and the passing. They got to get it right. I mean, and I've been saying NASCAR needs to really get this right. I mean, if
Yeah,
NASCAR is going to head in a good direction for the next decade, they got to get this car right. And honestly, this is the thing we got to focus more. I mean, we got to focus on the racing and improving the racing. That's the main priority we got to focus on.
yeah. Focus on racing, not on the number placement.
Yeah. All right. Greenville Swap Rabbits and Bond Scars ponder with Spire. No, Bond Scars ponders, I believe. Yeah. So no, Bond Scars partner with Spire Motorsports for the Cookout Southern 500. They'll be on the 77 car with Justin Haley. Daytona TV ratings. NBC earned a 2.25 rating with a 3.928 billion viewers for the Coke Zero Sugar 400. A slight increase in viewership, but down just a tick in overall rating from the 2020 race. And last but not least, JTG Darty Racing plans to run one full-time Cup Series car in 2022. They do not plan to use another charter. So most likely, JTG Darty Racing is going to stick to running only one car in 2022. But definitely, I'm most likely seeing being Stenhouse being the driver that will stay at JTG Darty Racing. So it looks like the 37 might not be back next season, and it looks like which will be who is currently driven by Ryan Preece. But I feel Ryan Preece is most likely going to go into a competitive Xfinity Series or Truck Series ride.
Yeah, that's definitely the most logical thing that can happen.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, there's not that many charters available, and the 37 car, right now has been, they were not locked in for every single race, and that's why they do not have the charter for every race. So I think honestly, and then with Ryan Preece being in the 37, I mean, let's be honest, he wasn't going to get anywhere with that 37 car. And if Ryan Preece really wants to win races, I think the best option would be him going to a competitive Xfinity Series ride or a Truck Series ride. And I feel like honestly, that's honestly the best option for Ryan Preece at the moment.
Yeah.
He's got backing from, Hunt Brothers Pizza seems to be supporting him in the modified. So this could be an opportunity for him to possibly get a full-time Xfinity Series ride at Stewart Haas Racing, or possibly for DGR Crossley.
Yeah.
Ryan Preece. He won a race at Nashville for the Truck Series there this year, and he's won a couple Xfinity Series races with Joe Gibbs Racing. We've seen what he can do in a Joe Gibbs Racing car. So
yeah, of course.
Honestly,
I've
feel
been
like
saying like Ryan Preece is a pretty good driver. Like he deserves an opportunity. Unlike there's a lot of drivers that they haven't proved like really hurt them that
Terrible herps. Yep.
they just have money but not the ability to drive like so yeah they just have
Yeah.
to they just
I
have
like
to
to
give
see-
opportunity to the drivers they deserve.
I like to see Ryan Preece in that 98 car. I guarantee you he will definitely be a championship contender
Well,
in Xfinity.
I
If he goes into that 98 car, hey, but money talks. Money talks though.
Money talk. So we're gonna see Mr. Terrible Herbs for a couple, maybe for another year, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much this goes back to what Randy said. I mean, the Xfinity series right now, we're not in a good place. I mean, literally, I mean, if you guys want to check out the podcast with Randy the Plumber, he did speak some pretty amazing facts about the Xfinity series. And honestly, not in a good direction we're in right now. I mean, especially now with Kyle Busch stepping away from Xfinity. And he did bring up a good point about that. So, all right. So here, so now we're going to go over to the entry list for Darlington this weekend. So this will be the 72nd running of the Cookout Southern 500. So yeah, so let's take a look at the entry list for this first playoff race at Darlington. All right, so Quinn Houff will be in the 00 units. Kurt Busch will have Monster Energy. Brad Keselowski will have Discount Tire. Austin Dillon will have Bass Pro Shop / Tracker Off Road. Kevin Harvick is going to have a special Busch scheme that says Busch Light Fan Design. So any lucky fan who is designing a Kevin Harvick Busch Light scheme, best one, will be driven at Darlington. Kyle Larson will have.
So that's like a fan vote paint scheme.
I believe so. I haven't seen the schemes, but I think Busch Beer's probably doing this. I think they're doing the contest where I think they're where they get to design Harvick's car, and I think the best one is going to be used for Harvick, or it might be a vote possibly, but yeah. Kyle Larson will be in the number 5 HendrickCars.com. Ryan Newman's going to have Oscar Mayer Baloney. So I guess it's not Winnie Wagon, it's Baloney Wagon then.
Baloney wagon.
Yeah, Baloney Wagon. So yeah, so all you people who are watching, yeah, so y'all can comment in the chat all these Winnie Wagon jokes about Ryan Newman. But yeah. Corey LaJoy will have Schluter Systems. Tyler Reddick still has yet to announce his sponsorship. Chase Elliott's going to have a special Napa scheme for a good cause, a Napa children's scheme. So yeah, it's check the scheme out. It's a decent scheme, but I understand what.
Is it pretty cool? I haven't seen it.
It's the brown one. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Let me check. I think I haven't seen that one. Let me check.
Yeah, Eric Omerl is going to have Smithfield. Denny Hamlin's going to have OfferPad. Ryan Blaney will have Menards / Richmond. Chase Briscoe will have highpoint.com / founders. Joey Gase will be in the 15 for Rick Ware Racing. Chris Buescher will have Roush Performance. Kyle Busch is going to be back with the regular M&M scheme, which I did call that he was going to run it in the playoffs. Martin Truex Jr. is going to have Bass Pro Shops. Christopher Bell is going to have Sport Clips Haircuts. Matt DiBenedetto is going to have Motorcraft / Quick Lane. Joey Logano will have Shell Pennzoil. Bubba Wallace is going to have DoorDash. William Byron will have Exalta. Michael McDowell will have Love's Travel Stops. Ryan Preece is going to have Kroger / Hershey S'mores. Anthony Alfredo will have Chicago Pneumatic Compressors. Cole Custer is going to have HaasTooling.com Demo Day. Ross Chastain is going to have McDonald's. Eric Jones will have Patty's Garage. Ricky Santos Jr. is going to have Kroger / Little Hug. Alex Bowman is going to have Ally. Cody Ware is going to have Nerdtech ODT. Josh Bilicki will have Junction Fuel Throwback. James Davison will be back this weekend at Darlington. He'll be driving the 53 for Rick Ware Racing. Justin Haley will have Bond Skewers / Swamp Rabbits. BJ McLeod will be in the 78. Corvette Parts Net, and Daniel Suarez will have Good Sam. So that is your entry list for this weekend's race at Darlington. And while Mauricio was trying to find the Chase Elliott scheme, did you find it yet?
Yeah, still trying to find it because I have to answer a quick message.
Yeah. All right, so that is the entry list for Darlington, and now we are going to get on to our picks for this weekend's race at Darlington. This is a triple weekend. We're going to have the trucks, Xfinity, and the NASCAR Cup Series. Meanwhile, Mauricio continues to find the picture of Chase Elliott's Napa Children's Scheme. So I'm going to start out with my Truck Series picks. So since Truck Series are in their playoffs, it's going to be main, bolt, and non-playoff picks. So I'm going to start with this one. All right, so for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, my main pick, I'm actually going to go with a bit of a shocker one. I'm actually going to go with Todd Gilliland. Todd Gilliland is definitely a driver who has definitely been showing great flashes in that 38 truck, and he's definitely a driver who definitely has momentum at the right place and at the right time. So I'm actually going with Todd Gilliland as my main pick, and then for my bold pick, I'm actually going with, of course, John Henry Mitchek, who he's been the class of the field this season in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series for sure. And then my non-playoff pick, I'm actually going with Ryan Truex. I could see possibly a top 15, top 10 run from Ryan Truex. So Mauricio, on to you for your Truck Series picks.
Okay. So as my main pick for trucks, I'm gonna go with obviously the driver that has been performing pretty well. I'm gonna say John Hunter Nemechek.
Mm-hmm.
And then my bold pick, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Sheldon Creed.
Okay.
I have to say Sheldon Creed maybe. And then as my non-player pick, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. I would say Ryan Truex. No, I'm gonna change it. I know, but Hosovar is in the playoffs. Yeah, Ryan Truex.
All right. So for Xfinity, so my pick for Xfinity, my main pick for Xfinity, I am actually going with none other than Denny Hamlin. If you look back throughout his past four to five starts in the NASCAR Xfinity Series that he has made at Darlington, he has won. So Denny Hamlin is definitely a driver who knows how to get around Darlington, and since he'll be returning the Xfinity Series in the 54, he will be my main pick. And then bull pick, I'm actually gonna go with who won Darlington earlier this year in the Xfinity Series, Justin Allgaier.
All right,
Mauricio, you're up.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one, but I think I got it. Yeah. So my main pick, I think I'm gonna go with Austin Cindric. I think he's a guy that we obviously know has been like the best of the field. So no surprise that he's gonna be like a pretty good performance.
Mm-hmm.
Then my bull pick, I'm gonna have to go with Daniel Hemric. I think it's gonna be the best momentum, so he can finally, get a win and maybe fight for the championship. That's how this has happened now.
Yeah.
And then for my non-playoff pick,
we're not in playoffs
oh,
yet for Xfinity. No, that doesn't until Bristol.
Oh man. Oh, because I was having my mind that it was gonna be like the playoff thing. Wait a minute, I'm gonna have to change everything. So forgot how it was. So my main pick, instead of Austin Cindric, I'm gonna change it to Denny Hamlin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and my bull pick is gonna be still the same, Daniel Hemric.
All right. So for the Cup Series, so I'm actually gonna go. So for my main pick, Darlington, Darlington, he came up short. He was the only driver that had something for Martin Truex Jr. Early in the spring. I'm going to go with Kyle Larson. I say Kyle Larson will start out the playoffs with a win at Darlington, and he will collect his 6th win of the season. And this is a track that Larson has been close to winning. Has been close to winning twice, 2 out of the last 3 Darlington races, 2018 and earlier this spring. Bull pick, I'm going with Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, he's won 3 Darlington races. He definitely knows how to get around Darlington and has one of the best average finishes out of every driver. And then non-playoff pick, I'm actually going to go with Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon, we saw last year how impressive he was at the round of 16. He almost gave Harvick a run for it in the end. So non-playoff pick is going to be Austin Dillon.
Okay.
Mauricio?
Yeah, pretty well. Yeah, so my main pick, I'm gonna go with Denny Hamlin, like a guy that really knows Darlington. I think maybe he can get the sweep this weekend. Who knows? Um, then for um, then for my bold pick, I'm obviously gonna go with Kyle Busch because last time we raced here, he's been close until a tire cut off. But if that didn't happen, I would say Kyle Busch was maybe like the best car that was right there. But sometimes things can change. But I think this time Kyle Busch knows how to get it done there, so I think he can finally get the win. But we'll see. And then for my non-playoff pick, I'm gonna go with Eric Jones. Like Eric Jones has won there before, and I think that is a guy that also has been like showing some very kind of strong runs. So I can definitely see Mr. Jones, the boy Jones, to get a win there. So maybe finally Richard Petty can get a win. Or who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. All right, so that will do it for our race picks for Darlington Raceway, and we have covered everything up. So I guess we are getting ready to wrap this up. Before we wrap it up, I want to say thank you everyone for the people who were watching this Turn 4 podcast. We really appreciate your support. We appreciate the feedback you guys give us. It definitely does mean a lot. And if you want to follow myself, Mauricio, Anthony, or Tyler, the rest of the Turn 4 podcast crew, I will have it in the link in the description. You guys want to check, please go subscribe, comment, like this video. And yeah, Mauricio, any announcements you wanna add on?
Well, maybe some people know what's going on, so we appreciate that some people has been supporting us. So I hope that we can continue doing that. Like you'll never regret that standing us all by side or trying to support us because we love NASCAR. We always try to bring the best. We always try to help people more like to get into the sport. And also, by the way, we just want people. We just want to get more fans to get into NASCAR and have fun and show them to that NASCAR is not only just driving circles, right? Mm-hmm. So thanks to everybody has been not only watching our podcast, but every single podcast that they want to learn about NASCAR and they want just to they just want to know more about the sport. So we just appreciate the new fans and also the fans that have been staying for a long years and they stay here. Like they just, besides all the bad things that have been happening with the sport, they just still hoping that NASCAR can be back at his huge prime or get back into a huge popularity. And for the guys those casual fans, you're not welcome, to be honest, because we don't want those kind of fans that they complain and they come back, they just starting to complain about every single thing the Facebook sport boomers. Does. So yeah, especially the boomers. So yeah. And you don't want them, like, I'm sorry, man, but you have to be more intelligent. You just like, it's not that hard to just leave the sport, and to be honest, you will not be missed. So yeah, help us save our time and not to fight with you and just go. To be honest, so. But thank you to everybody, like for real, for the people that they stay here and they stay with the sport. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, every support from you definitely matters to us, and we want to thank all of y'all for watching. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this weekend at Darlington. As you know, we finally this is definitely the start to the NASCAR playoffs. This is the moment where things are going to get interesting. You're going to see a lot of playoff implications. You're going to hear Rick Allen say trouble for the 18 or trouble for the 5, problems with the 5. And you're going to hear all that these next 10 weeks. But, we're here to cover it all in this 10-week journey to the NASCAR playoffs. Myself, Mauricio, and Anthony, we will be there to cover it all. And we will see you guys next week on next week's podcast. We don't have anything announced for next week, but if we do, we'll make sure to